Oh, it's you and me today, Michael, isn't it?
Ma'am,
You are just an energizer bunny. You just keep on going.
well, I got to tell you, my bladder is going to keep me motivated to make sure that we
I can start if you need a potty break. I mean,
we'll run
I,
this like a Catholic mass. We'll be out of here in 58 minutes.
oh, that's great. Welcome to the April's monthly sales meeting. We are so excited to be here with you, and I get to do something with Reedy. I'm so pumped.
Well, Kristen, today is just an action-packed day. We had the 1 year anniversary for Reading Red this morning. We had Ignite also this morning with the sales meeting this morning. What's happening this evening for anybody who
this
does not know?
this evening we have the open house of the year. It's the Gulf Beaches open house. We are finally welcoming you all to Treasure Island to come see the new market center. I know we'll talk more about it soon, but I'm so excited that we are doing that today from 5 to 7. Parking is free in both the front and the back of the market center. I'll just remind you of that a few times today.
Perfect. I appreciate it. All right, well, let's go ahead and get into this monthly sales meeting. One of the things that's very important, I know that we've talked about it before, is to really just take a moment and revisit something that is known as the MVVBP. This is something that from Keller Williams International is the culture. Oftentimes, Kristen, you and Rachel definitely more so now than me this year, but before, we have conversations with people and they say, culture is really important to me when I'm thinking about joining somewhere. And we go, great. How will you know that culture is important to you? And so one of the things that's the most important thing for us is to actually document those things. So our mission is to build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving. What does that mean to you, Kristen, as we kind of just think about our mission as a company when you hear these things?
Rachel said today to somebody that we were both talking to that we're not just about businesses. We're not just about selling real estate. We are actually about the whole person. And that's what that mission says to me is that we're here for the whole person as a real estate agent. Yes, we chose real estate to be our venue of choice to build our business, but we're here to have these fantastic lives worth living. And that's where the joy comes from for me, at least, is that it's about more than just the bottom line.
Absolutely. And so understanding that mission is then leading us to our vision, right? And so understanding that the way that we get to build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving is to be the real estate company of choice for agents and their customers. That vision then leads us to our value system. Kristen, would you like to go ahead and take our
I would love to. So our values are God, family, then business.
what
And I it,
to the atheists that are on the roll? Where does God? What does that have to do with my business?
it has to do with what we went back to. You guys talk all the time on Radio Run about the 7 circles. It's about all of our life. It's about living our life where we're putting our priorities in order, and that spiritual side of us are the key relationships that we have, and then our business, because it's those two things that feed into the reason why we even have a business, right?
Absolutely, and I think one of the most important things, and you've kind of pointed this out as well, is that in order for us to be there for our family, in order for us to be there for our business, we also have to pour into ourselves. And so, whatever your relationship with God might look like, I look at that one for me just personally as saying that this is how am I showing up so that I can then show up for the people that are in my family and for my business. And one of the things that helps us with is to go ahead and look at the actual belief system that we have. If you'd like to go and do the beliefs as well, I would.
I'm not doing the dances, but I will. Kathy Stange is there, good for that. But it's win-win or no deal. Integrity, do the right thing. Customers always come first. Commitment in all things. Communication, seek first to understand. Creativity, ideas before results. Teamwork, together everyone achieves more. Trust starts with honesty, equity, opportunities for all, success results through people. I did all of that trying to not look at the next one. I kept glancing down. Am I on track?
Well, and so one of the most important things I think as you're moving through this, we know that with the National Association of Realtors, they did a poll in 2019, a survey for both buyers and sellers. And they found that the number one thing that was important for them was the reputation of the agent and brokerage. And then number two was that that agent made them feel that they were honest and trustworthy.
Yep.
And the way that we make sure that people know that we are honest and trustworthy from the very beginning, or quite frankly, even before, whether it's in our pre-listing packet or they go on our website or they see us, is to make sure that our beliefs of this idea of integrity and trust starts with honesty and win-win or no deal, that this is really something that we embrace so that we have the ability to share that out and that people really understand that the things that are important to them, that reputation and that you're honest and trustworthy, is something that is through and through. It's printed. It's not just something that is on a mug. And let's be honest, the Y4C2Ts is probably not the catchiest acronym, yet what it stands for is truly one of the best things. And lastly is to understand our perspective. We're a technology company that provides the real estate platform that our agents, buyers, and sellers prefer. Keller Williams thinks like a top producer, acts like a trainer consultant, and focuses all its activities on service, productivity, and profitability. And one of the things that I love about this is this concept that is, we as a company are there to help our agents, and the agents, right, they are our customers, and that the agents' customers are then the buyers and sellers. And so creating an atmosphere where people can establish a business, run a business that's powered by the tools, the beliefs, the mission, vision, values, and belief system. All of those things can be really, really important to the things that we do. So we just wanted to make sure that we bring this to your attention. I know that there's some people that might have just recently joined us, that this is new, as well as others that it might be something that you've known about, but maybe it's kind of needing a little dusting off. There's new swag.
There is new swag. I love this one. It's got the Y4C2Ts with the equity opportunities for all added in.
And there's another one. This is actually the new equity shirt for culture, right? Which this is that we are having, the roots are deep rooted in the concept of that we are both wide and deep as a company and as a culture. And again, it has those things that are so necessary. And part of that culture is the people that we welcome. You want to go ahead and say hello to people, Kristen?
Yes, so we have Courtney Washington, Anna Olson, Gigi Krauser, Trisha Dunn, Stephen Hersfeld. I'm not sure if I'm going to say this one right. Can you help me? Dexia? Welcome, Dexia. There's some that I haven't met yet, so please help me if I'm not saying your name right. Malaya, Katie, Mackenzie. We've got Jennifer, Gabrielle, Leon Stoltz, Justin Garrett, Matthew McCoy, Lisa Magana, Ted Murray, Katie Sayers, Scott McKenna, and Michael Levy. Michael Levy. Welcome, everyone. We're so excited to be in business with you.
And I've got to tell you, so many of these individuals are currently going through Ignite, and I'm just so excited for them and their career. And, you know, please know, I know we're going to talk about it probably 7 times during the sales meeting, that the open house tonight at the Gulf Beaches Market Center is not just for the people who are at Gulf Beaches. You know, you have the resources of 3 locations here within Pinellas County to take your clients to. They're yours to use as a resource. And know that all staff, ALC, we've got members of the team are going to be there. We want to meet you in person. There's so many of these people over the last year that we have yet to meet in person. We can't wait to do it. So welcome to everybody. For those of you that are a part of our office and have been for a while, go ahead and flex those fingers, go into the chat box, and just give a little welcome to some of those new individuals that are on here. We'd love to also know that you still have a pulse.
I'm glad that you said that, Michael, about the Gulf Beaches open house today, because we are literally like a block from the beach. So who doesn't want to come to the beach? And it is a place that you can meet your customers. Come check it out, take a look at it, so that whether you're in the Seminole downtown or Gulf Beaches office, you know exactly where you can welcome your customers for buyer's consultation or to stop and sign a contract. It's a great place to meet.
Absolutely. And to answer Shova asked the question of where do you get those t-shirts? And I do believe it's from the Red Label store. So you can go on to Google, you can type in Keller Williams Red Label store, and you'll be able to find all of the t-shirts, the Think Like a CEO t-shirts, the Keller Williams t-shirts, our lab t-shirts, as well as the culture t-shirts for equity and the Y4C2Ts. All of that is there. All right, well, Kristen, if there are two nerds when it comes to numbers, it's you and I. So let's talk about some market updates and statistics.
All right. Well, this one is exciting. This is our 2020 year in review for KWRI, right? Is this KW? No.
No,
yes.
This is KWRI. That's 1.2 million units sold.
Yes, million units sold. There we go. I'm like, which one is it? Yes, this is the KWRI one. 1.2 million units sold. Look at that, 407.4 billion. That is over a billion a day. That's over a billion a day sold.
Yeah, and so often we talk about that, sometimes there's this approach of like, oh, big is bad. I don't know about you, but that looks like a whole lot of good. That looks like in a year when a lot of people thought that we might not have had the best year ever, looking at these numbers, seeing what that means is a lot of people moved, a lot of people grew their business, a lot of people could live a life by design, and $10.5 billion of commission to the agents at Keller Williams shows one thing, that the training and coaching and technology and the atmosphere that we have here, it works. And we're not just number one as if, it's the number one world's greatest dad. That's number one by real trends. That's number one by all metrics in terms of number of agents, number of units sold, and in total sales volume. So congratulations to you for partnering with Keller Williams and being a part of the number one brand in the country. I think that's huge.
That is huge.
Getting a little bit closer, let's look at some of these numbers. So this is understanding the 4-week real estate market report here in the Tampa Bay area. We're going to do a slide after this, which is specific to Pinellas, yet we know that even though many of you have your license in Pinellas, you don't just stop selling in Pinellas. So looking at the last 4 weeks, we can see that for the last 4 weeks active, right, is 1,852 listings went active. 5,897 went pending. I mean, holy moly, right? That is, we are selling as much, if not everything that's there. Sold is 5,201. Canceled was 455, and temporarily off market was 276. Kristen, when you're looking at these numbers, what is this story telling you about the market?
It's just telling me that our listings are not coming on the market as fast as they're going off. They're just, we are continuing to deplete our supply of inventory. I heard an interesting quote, if I can, Jason Abrams was talking yesterday about, I believe it was a CNBC news article that came out, that 66% of sellers, of homeowners, do not know their value of their house right now, that they're sitting on a pot of gold that they don't know about right now. 66%. And that's what this tells me, that a lot of people aren't taking advantage of what they could be right now.
Well, I think it also tells something, we've had this conversation a few times before, is there really is a tale of two markets, right? And there's the market of agents who are selling more than they ever have before. They're having their best months in the industry. And then we have others that are completely starving and they don't have any business. Maybe they have quote unquote 8 to 11 buyers that they're currently working with, but nothing is getting under contract. There's really just this idea of scarcity. And so how is it that we have both markets happening at the exact same time? And I'm going to say something that's going to make some people maybe a little bit uncomfortable. Is that this is the market of hustle. So if for the last 4 years or 8 years, or quite frankly, 15 years, but for the last 8 years, if you have been able to get business, it's come to you naturally, it's fallen into your lap, you just had to be at the right place at the right time, and it seemed like it just poof, it happened. That market is over. I'm sorry to tell you, when we talk about a shifting market, that market is dead. This is the market where, in addition to those normal platforms that we have used, those normal tools, we have to go back and be old school and look at some of the different areas. we have to be the catalyst that causes a homeowner to say, I have equity in my home, I need to sell. If you're waiting for the seller to figure it out, not only is that seller going to figure it out, but if you're not being consistently communicating to them, they're going to go to Zillow, or they're going to go to, the team that is on the television and on the billboards, right? All of those things are absolutely going to be intentional. And I love that Tiffany put in here that she sees 731 possible listings between those that had canceled and had been taken temporarily off market. So great observation there, Tiffany. Making sure that our people are always staying on their toes. Looking at these numbers again, you're talking about almost a 4-to-1, just shy of a 4-to-1 when it's looking at our actives to our pendings.
Right.
So let's look at Pinellas. So Pinellas for the last 4 weeks is 422 active listings. Pendings were 1,206. Again, almost a threefold. Where our sold was 1,094. Again, cancels at 118, and then temporarily off market 54. Looking at these two, right, if we were to look down at the market changes below that, you see new listings, it's up 8%, price increases up 1%, price decreases up 2%, and back on market is up 16%. Let's look at those numbers real quick for Tampa Bay. So pretty much the same.
Yeah, pretty the same.
We know that we're trending collectively the way that things are moving on. Anything else in terms of looking at these numbers that you think is important for agents to interpret, or how can they use this for their business when having conversations with?
Well, I do want to point out one other thing, just that both for Tampa Bay and Pinellas on the 22 to 28 days, 15 to 21 days, if we look at those weeks broken up, both of them were seeing an uptick in active listings in the past 1 to 7 days, which is interesting that we're seeing a little bit more activity moving, quite a bit. If we look at 4 weeks ago, it was 47, and then in the past 1 to 7 days, it's 204 active listings. So interesting to just note that there's a little bit more of an uptick on that.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
So some of the other things to look at, just as we trend here locally on some of the things that are happening, is looking at overall increases month over month and year over year with Keller Williams International numbers. Is that closed units between this time last year is to understand that it is up 30.1%. And even with last year, between January and April, right, technically would take in that first quarter because we don't have all of April's numbers, that quarter one of 2020 versus quarter one of 2021 is up about 21.3%. I don't think that that's much of a surprise to many people, but still looking at some of the answers that are here, I think are important.
So April of last year, March, quarter one was when the quarantine started, right? In the middle of March. So it wasn't hugely impacted because it was towards the very end of the quarter, however, definitely had an impact. And we're seeing an increase across the board. The thing that I noticed looking here locally as well is in every category, in closed volume, in listings taken volume, in listings sold volume, we were up locally in our 3 market centers by even more than this year to date. I saw some 100% or 50% up year over year. However, in units, closed units, listings taken, which is units, listings sold, which is units, it was either flat or going down a little bit. So it reminds me of the saying, and I know we've probably oversaid this, but when Gary said, we're losing so slowly, we think we're winning. If we're not keeping track of our units, because obviously prices are up, our volume is going up at a crazy rate right now. So we've got to keep a close eye on our units, because we are seeing that those are remaining rather flat locally here.
And understanding that inflation is in correlation to the sales price, right? Mm-hmm. Inflation in terms of your inventory. And so this is some of those things where you might be having a really great quarter, you might be having a really great year financially, even though your listings can have been up. We have no crystal ball, we have no idea what's going to happen. And yet, if it's possible that somewhere between now and the next 3 years, that a general consensus of consumers is that there is an overinflation of prices and that there would be a softening of the market, understand that that goes directly to commission per unit, not necessarily about transaction. So why we always focus on the units is because units show up in your habits, where your volume and your commission only shows up based on influences that you really don't have any control over.
Mm.
So very, very important. What are the things that I can control about my destiny? What are the things that are environmental? I think all of those things are very, very important to talk about.
Uh-oh. Drum roll, please. It's awards time.
So with awards, we absolutely want to make sure that we're celebrating those wins, right? We want to celebrate the GCI. We want to celebrate the units sold. And so we want to go ahead and take a look at the downtown market center. So it looks like for the group with the most listings taken, we have the Antonowitz Home Team with 7 units taken in the month of March. For team, Huffman Capen took 4 units between Steve and Stephanie. Congratulations, Steve and Stephanie. For individuals, we had a 3-way tie.
Wow.
Jennifer Thayer took 3 units, Tamisha took 3 units, and Zach Zender took 3 units. For the total gross commission income within 1 month, right, take that into consideration, that the Antonowitz Home Team made $302,861 in the month of March. I know that there are a lot of people on that team that are like, oh, we want a break, and I think that April is going to look just as exciting as March. So congratulations to all of you for your hard work. For the team with the top gross commission income, Ms. Bunny Longwell and her team did $71,391 in the month of March. And for an individual, Ms. Jennifer Thayer did a measly $505,274 in the month of March.
Do you think she might be on track to be the #1 individual agent in the North Florida region again this year? Like we just got celebrated at the Cultural Summit last Friday. She was #1. I think she might be keeping that spot at this rate.
It looks like it. Well, for highest price closing, also to Jennifer Thayer with $5 million. She had the highest price closing for the month of March. Zach Zender had the highest price listing going live at $2.1 million. We want to say thank you to Kevin Cottrell, who made a donation of $150 to KW Cares, being the #1 contributor for the office in the month of March. For first closings, we want to say congratulations to Lorraine Armstrong and Mauricio Moreno, who had their first listings at the very least with our office. And so congratulations on taking those listings. And then hat tricks. We had hat tricks for Denise Antonowitz, Gina McWilliams, Jennifer Thayer, Michael Thompson, and Eric Wilson. Kristen, for those that don't know what a hat trick is, what is a hat trick?
A hat trick is when you have 3 closings in one day. Michael, how do you get a hat trick?
You schedule them.
Thank you. We know our script well.
Absolutely. Continuing on in terms of closed units, wow, the Antonowitz Home Team had 18 units closed in the month of March. The Longwell team had 8 units. Did I say 8 or did I say 18?
You said 18 for Antonowitz
Okay.
and 8 for Bunny.
Right.
You're good.
All right, and then Bunny Longwell had 8 units, and then Jennifer Thayer had 18 units as well as an individual.
Woo!
For closed volume for our group, in third place, we have the Becky McConnell Group at $3,735,750. Second place with Yes Home Team with $4.4 million. And first place in the closed volume for a group was the Antonowitz Home Team with $11.7 million in closed volume in the month of March. For team, third place, the Fig Team. So good to see Tally and Ernie Figueredo on here. The Fig Team had $865,000 in closed volume. Second place, the Platinum Team. Mr. Ron Platt and his team did $1.8 million in closed volume. And then, as no surprise from the last 2 slides, the Bunny Longwell team did $3.4 million in first place for a team with closed volume. Third place for closed volume in the month of March with $3.9 million, Mr. Kevin Cottrell. Second place, Ms. Debbie Egan at $5.9 million in the month of March. And Jennifer Thayer for first place at $28.7 million closed in the month of March. Wow.
Wow. Can I just say, pause for a second and say, this is why showing up to the masterminds that we have going on, the coaching that we have going on, the open house, and getting to be in the space of people like this. I know Bunny's been attending my coaching calls every Tuesday at 2, and she's added so much great content to the people who are on that and masterminding with her. So when you're with this group, take advantage of being in their space is all I got to say, right?
Absolutely. And
Congratulations.
I do want to make sure that I'm not sure what's happening, and we'll definitely make sure that we clarify. I also want to just make sure that we celebrate and honor Chris Price, who did over 6 million in volume as well in the month of March. I know that she worked her butt off for that. And so I'm not sure what happened in terms of the slides, but we want to honor you, Chris, and say congratulations for a job well done. We'll definitely make sure that we get something clarified and we get some awards out so that you can definitely make sure that your world knows how proud we are of all the hard work that you all are doing.
Fantastic. I agree, Tiffany. We should get a mastermind of all these great agents and how they're doing this business. Great comment.
And look at the cappers for the month of March. So we want to celebrate Kat Boston, John Bracken, Kevin Cottrell, Genoa. Love that Genoa capped, first time capper. Paul Granditz, Bunny Longwell, Marion Young McGuire, Allison May Winnie, Pete McGann, Rhonda Sanderford, Aaron Sheehan, Bunny Longwell, Becky McConnell, Brad Boner, Brian Sprague, Kat Boston again.
I think we're in home runs now.
Okay, Lord, it's the different font size. I was like, we got a lot of cappers. For our home runs, what's a home run, Kristen?
A listing taken, a closing, and a contract all in 1 month.
Absolutely. So we had Bunny Longwell, Becky McConnell, Brad Boner, Brian Sprague, Kat Boston, Courtney Stein, Donna Boisvert, Debbie Egan, Debbie Watts, Denise Antonowitz, DJ Susie, Eric Wilson, Jenny Heidel, Jeff Joyner, Jennifer Thayer, Julie Sartain, Kathy Geyer, Kathy Stange, Kent Dudley, Leah Hersworm, Lori Famigletti, Lorraine Armstrong, Michael Thompson, Monica Crawford, Nicoletta Forbes, Pete McGann, Scott Simon, Stephanie Huffman, Steve Capin, Steve Densa, Tally and Ernie Figueredo, Tiffany Letlier, Tamisha Darling Roberson, and Zach Zender. All had a closing, went under contract, and took a listing in the month of March. They are building a successful business that is going to be able to withstand whatever happens with the market by being consistent in doing a home run. Congratulations to all with the Keller Williams Downtown St. Pete Market Center. Kristen.
Yes, I am excited to congratulate our KW Seminole group. For listings taken, we had the Sandy Hartman group with 5 units and the Walseth team with 5 units. For our teams, we had the Wynia group with 2 units. We had Carolina with 5 units as an individual. So congratulations to all of you. Highest list price, the Sandy Hartman group, we had 2.3 million in listing taken, and highest price closing, again, Hartman with 2.55 million. Congratulations. For GCI, the Sandy Hartman group took home $203,000 in GCI curb appeal homes. For teams with $31,063, and then our individual Suzanne with $34,709. Congratulations. For our home runs, we had Carolina, we had the Hustle and Heart group, Joe Bennett, the Winia group. I feel like I'm saying that name wrong, and I really didn't want to say any names wrong. Sandra, Steven, Suzanne, Curb Appeal Homes, the Sandy Hartman group, and the Walseth team all had home runs. For cappers, Suzanne, congratulations. Lori, Roger, Carolina, and Troy all capped this past month. And our first closing, Sandra, congratulations with Keller Williams, I think it is. And then we appreciate so much the contribution to KW Cares. Every part, every bit matters. And we appreciate that $80, Sandy. Next, in closed units, for the total closed units, the group, the Hustle and Heart group closed 11 units. Curb Appeal Homes closed 5 units. And we had Carolina and Suzanne with 3 units each. Congratulations. In closed volume, Third place, we had the Hustle and Heart group with 2.783. I'm going to say that different. $2,783,400. In second place, we had the Walseth team with $3,629,000. And in first place, the Sandy Hartman group with $7,483,643. Let's see. First place in teams, Curb Appeal Homes, $1,050,900. And then the Winia group with $104,000. So in our individuals, we had third place, Carolina with $700,000. In second place, Lisa Lucas with $800,000. And in first place, Suzanne with $3,073,900. Congratulations to all of you. We're so proud of you.
Congratulations. Now for the Gulf Beaches Market Center. So for listings taken, the group with 6 units was the Lockhart Walseth team. For a team, we have the Snyder Group International with 2 units taken, as well as our home team had 2 units taken. And for an individual, Ms. Jill Helgren took 4 units in the month of March. The highest price listing, Jill Helgren took $3.3 million. You know, it's amazing. Could you remember just a few years ago, it was like when we would talk about, you know, in excess of $3 million, there wasn't really a lot of homes, and yet we're just seeing it over and over and over again. Either people are building or people are moving. I don't know what's happening, but I love seeing it. For GCI, the first place for a group with the highest GCI was the Orange Solution with $192,395. For the team, we have the Manley and Buns group. Congratulations to you both for $182,169. And for individual, Ms. Jill Helgren at $88,145. Highest price closing, Ms. Ethel Buns of the Manley and Buns group at $1.3 million for the highest price closing. For KW Cares, thank you to both Jennifer and Lonnie Orns, who each contributed $600, meaning that the Orange Solution collectively gave $1,200 in the month of March. Thank you so much for that. For Hat Tricks, we have Jill, Wendy, Joe, and Troy. Thank you all for the work that you do. And for first closing, we have Miss Leanne Schmitz with our office. So congratulations to Leanne for that closing. Kristen?
Can I point out one thing on that last slide, Michael, and that's just that the Orns were in the top of the top for the North Florida region last year in their KW Cares contributions. Somehow Jennifer beat Lonnie by $1. We're not sure how that happened, but and so many of this group were celebrated by the North Florida region for all 3 market centers. We had so many in the top 10 achievement in all of these categories in 2020. So I just want to congratulate all of them for their work. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Go ahead and take this one away, Kristen.
Yes. So for closed units, for group, we had the Lockhart Walseth team with 21 units closed. I think that's the highest we've seen on the slides today. Congratulations to all of you. Manley and Buns group with 12 units closed for a team of 2. And then individual, we had Jill Helgren with 6 units closed. Congratulations. And then, because we talked about units are so important right now. Closed volume for a group, second place, the Orange Solution with $7.3 million. What a month. And first place with the Lockhart and Walseth team with $8.8 million. For our teams in third place, we had our home team with $1.3 million. We have second place for the Snyder Group International, $1.6 million. And then in first place, Manley and Buns Group with $6.6 million. They were just awarded for the month of March on our regional call as well. So congratulations to you guys. In individual third place, Dawn Fader with $1.3 million in closed volume. Sue Kwitowski with $1.3 million and $26,000. I should add that in second place. And then in our first place for an individual, Jill Helgren with $3.4 million closed in the month of March. Congratulations, everyone.
Congratulations to you all. It's so important that we celebrate all of the market centers as well as the home runs. So let's take it home.
I got the home runs. We've got Candace Johnson, Cheryl Cacciatore, Dawn Fader, Drew Carlisle, Ethel Buns, Jennifer Orns, Jill Helgren, Joe Snyder, Maggie Brazil, Mark Bassarat, Michael DiGiovanni, Ryan Amen, Sherry Scott, Sue Kwiatowski, and I'm going to go with the whole Lockhart and Walseth team on the last one.
Absolutely. We've got a lot of success, a lot of people who are doing great things. And so this is where I think as we go back, we were having this conversation this morning about, are you in an environment where people push you, where you are challenged, where you can be better, where you're having high thought-provoking conversations? Is that the environment? And clearly seeing all of these great people who are doing exactly what they got into business to do, we of course want to celebrate and say congratulations to you all for being recognized. All right, so we also want to talk about profit share. And Kristen, I know that this is a project that's very important to you. So we might have some people who are on here for the very first time and who may or may not be somewhat familiar. So what's the importance of growing your profit share tree?
Well, it is, Rachel and I still can't think of the term. It's not passive income. We've used that term for so long. It's a passive income. It's a way to build wealth, and it's risk-free. There's no liability that you're taking in doing it, and it takes a very minimal amount of time and investment in order to build your profit share tree. At noon, we have our growth committee meeting right after this sales meeting. So you can come and find out more about building your profit share. But I want to tell you this fact. Q1 for 2021 in South Pinellas, between our 3 market centers, we have profit shared back to our agents $142,000. What piece of the pie are you getting on the 21st of the month? Are you getting a part of that? If you want more of it and join in with Shoba, Terry, Lisa, Maggie, Heather, Nicole, Leah, Jennifer, Denise, Joe, Chris, and I think that says Nicole. It's kind of cut off my screen. Come to our growth committee meeting at noon, and we'll talk more about how you can grow your profit share tree.
You know, one of the things that I loved is, I think it was Aaron Kaufman that kind of coined it as the 401kW. Mm-hmm. And so think of it really as a great way of helping others. You know, we've talked about this for a long time. Now, the future might look a little different because of marketing and other things that we have to do to still stay number one. But for a very long time, you never saw a Super Bowl commercial. You never saw anything from Keller Williams because it wasn't Keller Williams money to spend. That is the money for the agents that are here in the market center. You help grow this business. And so as a company, the company wants to make sure that that is profits that are shared to you. Again, meeting with Kristen in just a little over 20 minutes at noon to be able to discuss some of the tactics and things that people are doing in order to grow their profit share tree.
And here we go. We did it without the slide. These are our chairs from the Seminole, Gulf Beaches, and St. Pete office that will be on that growth committee meeting. So it's not just about coming to talk to me. It's about hearing what these guys are doing to grow their profit share and focus on that in each one of the market centers.
So for those of you that are interested, do note that that Zoom meeting ID that you see there is different than this one. So I'm going to talk for just a few more seconds so that you can take a picture of that if you'd like, or we can throw that in the chat box if someone can put that in there so that people can grab it. Thank you, Kristen. As well as this is something that happens every third Tuesday directly following the sales meeting. So just know that this is something that you can add to your calendar. Definitely looking to learn and grow your profit share tree. Let's see. So we have some luxury updates as well as some things that are going on here in the area of classes and things that you can do to really help push you forward. So one of the things I think that there might be some people who might not know about Tim Heil and the Heil Group, but understanding that the real estate machine is a course that Tim used to teach. Tim is out of the Austin Southwest Market Center, which is Market Center number 1, the one that is owned by Gary Keller. He has gone on and built an expansion team that has multiple locations. They're one of the top teams within the Keller Williams franchise throughout the world. In addition to that, he owns multiple title companies. I think he got into the iBuyer program where they were crowdfunding and doing some things with that. He was an original investor in a company that's called Phone Animal that does ICA work for agents. Point being is that if there's a man that you would probably want to hear about some strategies of how to succeed in a low inventory market. That's going to be a really great course by the Heil group that's going to be talking about this later this month. We'll make sure that we have some of these upcoming events in your calendar as well as in your weekly. That way you can sign up and do what you need to do with that. Speaking of the calendar, Kristen, what's going on in April?
You know, there is something coming up. Of course, if we haven't mentioned it today from 5 to 7 at the Gulf Beaches Open House, you need to be there. We're going to have food, we're going to have drinks, of course, prizes, giveaways. Parking is free in both front and back of the market center, and our vendors are going to be here. You're going to be able to mastermind with top agents. Come to our Gulf Beaches open house today. It's at 175 107th Ave in Treasure Island. So if you take the Treasure Island Causeway out or just go straight across Central, we're going to be on the left, right, block before the beach. Later, we've got the Masterminds at Seminole on the 21st and on the 22nd every Thursday at 11 in Gulf Beaches. Those are live masterminds, and we have had such powerful conversations about keeping contracts together, about realistic expectations, to conversations to help our buyers understand what they're entering in and how to help them find the win to stay under contract and how to get more listings in this market. We've had some phenomenal conversations with agents, so come out to those live masterminds. And then I am so excited to hear from Denise Antonowitz on the 23rd from 12 to 1. It's really understanding office exclusives and how their team is using these right now to get those 17, 18 closings happen in a month. So that's going to be a class that you do not want to miss.
Absolutely. And then on the 27th, it says that you're doing something. So
I am. I have a real estate career roadmap. The Path to Earning Six Figures. It is a class intended for people who are looking at real estate, in the process of getting their license or considering joining. You're all welcome to attend, but it's really for the purpose of, it's a great place to invite people to who are new agents or agents that are just new into the industry or getting their license right now.
And you all get this calendar on a weekly basis. I know that Shantae makes sure that that's visible. And just want to say thank you to Shantae for always kind of making sure we've got our calendars and our promotional material that you can be reminded of the great classes and things that are going on. So just thank you, Shantae, for all the work that you do. I see her in here buzzing around, making sure we got Zoom links and things going on. So definitely want to say thank you to her. And just make sure that you're taking advantage. That's really the main purpose of tonight as the open house. We want to see you. We want to make sure that you know that the offices are open. All three market centers are open. We are by no means at capacity. People are following CDC guidelines. We still have hand sanitizer. We have face masks. We have all of the things that are here. Understanding that we are back in business. We have culture. We have individuals. It's a great place to mastermind and do some things. We'd love to be able to see you often. Yes, ma'am.
And I was just going to say, stay tuned for the May calendar and the June calendar. Perhaps there might be some other open houses coming up for other market centers.
Sounds like a plan. So one more time, in case you weren't aware, because I promised you a minimum of 7 times that this is going to be what's happening this evening. In case you need the address of the Gulf Beaches Market Center, it is 175 107th Avenue, Treasure Island. And we've got some really great sponsors. You can meet lenders, some of the other vendors that we're going to have that are going to be there helping us. We want to say thank you to them, obviously, for coming out and donating a whole bunch of food and other things. So definitely going to be a great event this evening. Already talked about this, so make sure that you are registering for Understanding Office Exclusives. This is going to be a class that will be via Zoom so that you can see it electronically. That will be from 12 until 1. We've talked about that. Here is the user ID that you can do. Our Red, who is currently in another appointment, who would normally be here on the sales meeting, will be hosting that event on this Friday from 12 to 1. And that is the user ID for you to be able to RSVP for the event. Talked about Real Estate Career Roadmap. you and I are we're on it before we
We
get
are just ahead of the schedule.
Red
Red
Day.
Day!
So save the date, May 13th is going to be Red Day in honor of our cultural ambassador, the Velvet Hammer, Miss Mo Anderson, who is one of the co-owners of Keller Williams Realty International, and is honestly the queen of our culture. As an industry, well, more than the 800 market centers that we have, we all will shut down on May 13th. And go back into our community and give where we live. It's one of the most important things that we do. Be paying attention for details on what specifically we're going to be doing for those events for Red Day. Yet just know that as a market center, like, we will be shut down. We're going to go out in the community. We want to give back to the community that does so much for us. And so that's something that culturally is going to be a really great event. Renee put it's her favorite event, right? And it is for me as well. I love Red Day. It's one of the greatest things I think about our company, and something that we've made a priority.
And if you want to help getting that, making the decisions, figuring out what we're going to do, coordinating all of that, this is the time to get involved with our culture committees locally, so that you can have influence and be a part of making this all happen. And that's how you can contribute beforehand. So talk to our cultural ambassadors, our cultural chairs, and connect in with that, so that you can be a part of the planning process too.
And our cultural ambassadors and our culture committee, members of them will be there tonight. So if you'd like to hear more, you're more than welcome to stop by and talk to them about what that looks like. In case you didn't know, that we have on YouTube, there is the KW Chadwick group, and the KW Chadwick group has its own channel. There's more than 100 classes. I believe it's 111, or at least that's what it was as of yesterday, on anything and everything that you can possibly imagine. We talk about command. If you want more command training, it's on there. If you feel like you need a little bit more information on DocuSign, there's things on DocuSign. If you've missed the new Ignite, and you want to be able to learn some of that material, it's in there. Geographic farming, agent spotlights, how to get paid using the commissions tab. I mean, there's so much in here. I know that we've got a lot of people who are curious, how do I set up a campaign? How do I get leads? How can I do some of those things that I need to do? There are all of those videos right there on the KW Chadwick page. Be sure to click the subscribe button. That way you'll be notified anytime a new video is uploaded. And it is a ton of free real estate training right at your fingertips. Kristen, do you know about these?
The lead generating for listings and designs, I do know about this. This is, there is so much available to you in the designs portion of Command, and these listing presentations, you can see it looks like 3 different templates now that you can actually go in and design for, customize for yourself. Lead generation for listings in designs. So these are listing presentation templates that you can use, and it cuts down so much of your time in actually creating a presentation.
There actually, we just did this morning at Ignite. So there are now 5 new listing presentation templates.
Wow.
There's modern, there's classic, there's a little bit more approachable is what they called it. I have no idea what makes it more approachable. I think I'm fairly approachable, but we'll see. And there's also the buyer consultations. They have buyer consultations. There are postcards. There are door hangers. There are thank you cards. There's an abundance of things of where Keller Williams International has partnered with a marketing company and graphic designers to come in and make sure that you have this material for free, for you to be able to go in, completely editable. You can make it your own, and it's just another tool to ensure that you are using those designs in Command. If you're curious about how to use designs in Command, go back to our YouTube channel where there's trainings on how to use designs in Command.
So I just have to tell you, I just created something in Command in designs to celebrate our cappers. Come to the open house tonight from 5 to 7 and you'll see it on the wall. And I actually used Command to create my design to then send off to be printed and hang on our wall.
Absolutely. In addition to print marketing, if you're also looking to do social media graphics, they have pre-templated things for Pinterest, for Facebook, for Instagram. So really just understanding that you're able to go in, there's so many great tools that you can use. We just want to make sure that if you're not using them, that you're aware that you might be missing out, or as Kristen said, you might be spending a lot of time doing something that really could take less time so that you can be focused on generating the income producing activities to get to that point of reaching the income that you're looking for. There's some new stuff as well. We know that Earth Day is fastly approaching, if it hasn't already approached. Okay, good, it's on the 22nd. And so that's just in 2 days, right? We've got some things that are also there. They're constantly updating the design. So if you've gone in there a couple months ago, but you haven't been back, know that just as I said, we moved from 3 listing presentations to 5, 3 buyer consultations to 5. They're constantly going back in, revamping the material so that you have an abundance of things to use to reach out to your people.
And I think it's noteworthy too that KW Technology has kind of stepped back and said, instead of doing all these new releases on the technical side of things, they have gone back to really make sure that, because I'm sure if you've been in command at all, you might have hit a snag or two in designs in the past. Don't let that stop you from going back in. It is getting better and better and better, and they've put so much effort into making sure any of the bugs that might have been there are now working, and I've seen a huge difference myself every time I go into it.
Absolutely, I agree. See this one?
I did. America's Best Large Employers. Isn't that exciting?
America's Best for Forbes magazine. We just want to make sure that you know that you are partnered with the number one company locally. You've partnered with the number one company nationally. You've partnered with the number one company internationally, not just because we say it about ourselves, but because it is recognized that way. And not only are you partnered with us, but we are so honored to be in business with you. Thank you so much. Kristen, I don't know if you see what time it is.
It is 11:52, Michael. Was that the mass length right there, 52
No,
minutes?
I mean, we have about 6 more minutes. We can all open our hymnals if you'd like, or we can give you back the 8 minutes for your time.
Ethel did ask one more question. She just wanted to know if we're having an open house tonight. So yes, Ethel, we are. Thank you for asking. Sorry we didn't mention it enough.
Yes.
We really hope to see you there, though. I know we've been repetition is the mother of skill, and so I'm trying to teach you the skill of coming to the open house tonight. So I know we've mentioned a lot, but we're mentioning it because we have planned this so that we can get and see your faces. So if we haven't seen your face in a while, and you haven't seen each other's faces in a while, the whole point of this is that we just want to be back in community with you. So please do come out tonight. It would be our honor to see your face live.
And Shantae brought up a really great point of pitching your listings. So one of the important things that we're going to be doing moving forward as we are navigating these waters of what is virtual and what is in person is please know that we are going to do these sales meetings, and then in each of the market centers, come into the market center to actually watch the sales meeting. You can then have conversations with other agents. We want the last bit of the sales meeting this time to be the opportunity for you to pitch your new listings as well as the coming soons. Unfortunately, we cannot do that for all 3 market centers at one time. So that is something that has to be done specifically in the brokerage that you hang your license. So please, if you are already there, please take this as an opportunity to talk about your just listed, talk about your coming soons. And for those of you who are not in the office but are potentially open to it, mark your calendars for the next sales meeting in the month of May to be in the market center for the sales meeting so that you can be pitching your listings and hear about new listings directly following the sales meeting.
Woo!
All right, I am gonna go to the bathroom. Thank you all so much. I hope you have a wonderful afternoon, and we will see you tonight at the open house. Bye, Kristen. Bye, everybody.
Bye, Michael.